All right, I am glad you stopped by.
I have fled California.
I mean, I didn't get anywhere near the fires, but I heard weather reports about smoke was drifting this way and that way. So, and the wind was crazy over there. So, I have quickly turned around and came back to Arizona. And guess where I've landed? I am back in the kingdom of Quartzsite. But I'm way out on the outskirts of town just to avoid the crowds. It's pretty busy here, but I can say this. I don't think it was as busy as maybe 2 years ago. That was probably the most crowded I've ever seen the queue. So here I am. What am I doing? Well, I came back for two reasons. Of course, the fires in California. I decided not to go any further in. I didn't even make it to as far west as Joshua Tree or whatever. What is that other little town that's north of there? I think it's Highway 62. Anyway, I just turned around and came back through Parker, Arizona, hit the Walmart. I needed to get a lot of groceries and I needed to do laundry. And here's the funny story at the laundromat. So I went to the first one in Parker. It was on Kofa Street. And I went in, it's a very small laundromat. I carried all my clothes in, the laundry detergent, the whole thing. And I get in there, I look around, I realize every machine is taken, the place is packed. So I just load everything out of there, back in the van, find another laundromat like a mile away, go to it, and it's almost empty. And it's a big laundromat. I think I just timed it out right because as I was finishing up my clothes, the parking lot fills up. I guess I was just the early bird that day. So I got laundry done, left Parker, got gas in Parker for $2.65 a gallon. I've never ever seen it that cheap out here in 3 or 4 years. And even in Quartzsite, I think it's $2.95. It's usually a little more in Q than it is in Parker. So I went ahead and filled up in Parker, came back, and found a spot way out in the desert to just, kind of organize some things. Also stopped and got my propane tank filled up. People have asked me how many tanks of propane do I go through in a year in the winter. It's usually 2 or 3. This is the second one, and this is early January. I might have to fill up again. Yeah, I'll have to because when I leave here, I'll probably go up to a colder climate and I'll want some propane in the tank. The last couple of years, the way I worked it was not the year before last year, but the first year out and last year. So there's a gap there. I used a lot of propane because the way I worked it out was when I left the desert, I went up to high elevation and I was using my heater up until almost like the 1st of June. Yeah, that's how high up I went. So I don't use the buddy heater from like June, July, August, September. Then I'll come back here in November down in the desert. So I'm not filling the tank from, late May until late November. So if that gives you an idea of how much propane I use. And I have one of the short tanks. It's a blue Rhino that you can get at Lowe's hardware store. It's 4 gallon, not 5 gallon. Like a typical barbecue grill propane thing is 5 gallon, also known as 20 pound. I have a 15 pound, also known as 4 gallon. That's what I use because I just like the shorter height. It fits over behind the bed. Moving on. Okay, so I just roll back into Q and I check on my friend Hobo Joe. I just happened to think of her. Haven't talked to her in months. And I text her and said, hey, are you coming to Q this season? She said, I just got here a couple of days ago, and big surprise, she's also got a little travel trailer now. She's towing behind her van, which is a van exactly like mine, but she had the high top added to it, the fiberglass high top. So now she has that and the small travel trailer. So all I'm doing is I'm just waiting out the windstorm that's going on. I know you can't really see out the window here, but these little creosote bushes, they're kind of leaning at a 45, if you know what I mean. We've got, I don't know, 25, 35 mile an hour winds today. I think we're getting some of those winds that are causing all the fire chaos over in California. They were having winds closer to 75 miles an hour over there. And over here, I guess the gust 35. We got one more day of it, and then we'll be done with that here as the sun is starting to set. And then I'm just tired of being cooped up in this van. And every time I'm cooped up in this van, whether it's a rainstorm that lasts for a long time or a windstorm that lasts for 3 days, I start thinking back about getting a different rig. And now after seeing pictures of Hobo Joe's travel trailer, she just texted them to me. It's the perfect size. Her little trailer's like 14 feet long, maybe 13. It's got a full bathroom in it, a kitchen, and that's really what you go for, is the bathroom and the kitchen. And of course, it's got a bed in it too. So I will go see her after the windstorm dies down, which will probably be the day after tomorrow. I'll take pictures of this trailer, pick her brain about it, see what she thinks about it, because she just towed it all the way from New York. There's where she was the last few months. She was up near Niagara Falls area. So that's where she hangs out in the summer. So if she just towed it that far, it must be easy to tow. So I'll find out all the details on it. And maybe that's back in the picture. Maybe not. I don't know. But I'm in this low top van. And I can stand up and I can stretch in here. I can't stand all the way up. I can go over to the bed, which is way back behind the camera over there, and do stretches and all, and step out and walk around, just to move around, get the blood flowing. But being stuck for 3 days in a row is no fun. At that point, you're just surviving. You're not thriving. But other than these periodical storms, you know, I live out of the van, not in the van. And I think most of you know what I mean by that. I spend most of my time outside, you know, tinkering, riding the e-bike around and things like that. But it brings me to this other idea that I had for the springtime. If I go back to the Pacific Northwest, it's a lot colder up there. And I spend more time inside. And when I say inside, I mean in this van, which is only 6.5 feet wide and 10 feet long. So 60 square feet, not counting the height. Didn't go cubic on you there. And it wears on you when you have to do that for an extended period of time. And if you're doing it, you know what I'm talking about. So back to the moment here. I am in Quartzsite, outskirts of town. I have packages coming in. I forgot about that. I would have had to come back anyway, so I might as well come back, even though there were fires burning. If there weren't fires, I would still have to come back. So I'll pick up my packages, and then after that, hey, have you heard about Schoolypalooza? I went to it 2 or 3 years ago, but I made the mistake of parking too close to the bandstand. And the music goes on to like 4 or 5 in the morning there. You can't do that if you're old like me. So this year, I'd like to go and just park further out, and then I can ride the bike in or walk in, and, you know, always run into people I know there or who know me through YouTube. So I think that's the way I'll work it this year. I think that'll start around the 17th of January, and I'm assuming it's still out in Ehrenberg, Arizona. So if it's still in the same place, I know where I'm going to go. They had some kind of debacle with that Schoolypalooza a couple years ago, where it started in California and they got ran out, and then they moved to Arizona, and then some other people tried to monopolize on and commercialize the whole Schooly name. and it just got all crazy. But it's my understanding that it's back to just basic schooly palooza. You go out there, everybody's in these built out school buses and stuff like that. It's just cool. And plus it's just a big party out there. And I think it'd be good to do some social time again in mid-January. And so yeah, I think I'll do Schooly Palooza. All right, so I can see that the sun is starting to set. The lighting is getting terrible, so I will wrap it up with that. Thanks for watching. Take care, be well, and smash the bell.